In the heart of a dense forest, hidden from the prying eyes of human civilization, lies a secret that has haunted the whispers of its oldest inhabitants. This creature, called the One, is said to consume not just flesh but souls, leaving hollow husks for the living to find. It resides in the darkness, feeding on the fear of its prey until it is ready to feast upon their bodies. The legend speaks of how the One does not leave the forest, but instead, its nightmares manifest from the earth to sate its hunger before it truly awakens. The One is said to be a guardian of sorts, keeping the balance in the forest's ecosystem. But those who have heard its whispers do not speak openly of it, for what it means when the One finally walks among us all is a thought too terrifying to entertain. A group of teenagers, driven by their curiosity and bravery or foolishness, decided to dig in the forest, disturbing an area long avoided by the locals. They unearthed something ancient, sparking a series of nightmares that fed on their fear and drove them mad, one by one, until none remained but a shell of their former selves, their essence scattered across the woods, waiting for the One to arrive. The One's nightmares are said to be manifestations of itself, an advance guard for its true form. Some say these creatures can only appear when the One is close, as if it were a scout or testament of its power. They leave behind only bones and emptiness, their eyes hollow where once filled with life. A researcher from a nearby town, curious about the nightmares, began to dig into the One's history. He uncovered ancient texts that spoke of how it was sealed away long ago by a powerful artifact, and learned of its true nature. But as he attempted to warn the townspeople, they did not believe him, and he could not convince them. They thought him mad or foolish for his tales of an ancient creature in their midst. The One is said to have been sealed away by a pact made long ago, a deal between the One and humanity. But only those who are part of the pact know its meaning or existence. It is rumored that the One will awake when its nightmares multiply too greatly, but not all believe in it. Kevin met the researcher, and together they discovered a scientist attempting to control the One using technology. They watched as the scientist unknowingly created more nightmares in an attempt to create a portal. Kevin saw that technology was used in the wrong way and would only serve to awaken the One if not stopped. The scientist tried to contain the One with his tech, but only made it stronger, feeding its hunger for portals. He was naive in his hubris. "We must stop him." Nightmares began bouncing through portals, spreading fear through the town and attracting the One. Kevin and his friends tried to escape as it became too dangerous. They fled to an abandoned cabin on the outskirts of town, trying to hide from what was coming. Kevin formulated a plan with his friends to close the One's portal and escape to a safer place. They needed an artifact and knowledge, but time was short. If they failed, they would join the nightmares or be consumed by the One. The One began to awaken due to the portals opening in their area. It fed on the fear of the nightmares bouncing through and drew closer, making a desperate situation more dire. They needed to hurry. In the aftermath of uncovering the scientist's reckless experimentation, our Kevin and his friends find themselves in a race against time as the One's nightmares multiply at an alarming rate, feeding the very creature they seek to contain. With the knowledge that technology is only fueling its hunger, they devise a plan, retrieve an artifact capable of closing the portals, and escape before the One emerges from the shadows. As they navigate through treacherous woods filled with hostile nightmares and dwindling resources, a dark truth unfolds: they are not alone in this fight, as other mysterious individuals also seek to prevent the impending catastrophe. Kevin's group stumbles upon an abandoned cabin on the outskirts of town, providing temporary shelter from the One's wrath, yet bringing them closer to the scientist's lab, a potential key to their solution. There, They find a cryptic text hinting at another artifact that might close the portals, the Crown of Souls, hidden in an ancient temple deep within the forest. As nightmares close in on them relentlessly and time ticks down, a dilemma arises. Do they risk their lives to retrieve this artifact, or leave it for another who might find solace? They must choose between potential safety and sacrifice, knowing that failure may lead to the end of all. Meanwhile, the scientist continues his work, unaware of the danger he inadvertently created. His desperation amplifies as portals increase, revealing a chilling secret. He's losing control over them. The nightmares feed on his fear, growing bolder and more aggressive with each passing day. The group discusses their next move at the cabin, weighing the risks of entering the forest against potential safety in town. A tense decision must be made as night falls upon them. A decision that may lead to salvation or doom for both themselves and humanity. In the shadows, the one stirs, eager for its nightmares to grow stronger. The temples crown as tensions rise within the group on whether to venture into the forest or stay put. Kevin suggests they find a local guide to navigate the temple where the Crown of Souls is hidden. They encounter an old woman who speaks of a legendary path that leads to it, but warns of an entrance guardian spirit. She claims those who enter never return. Yet she offers a map with a dire warning only the pure-hearted can find what they seek. Our group divides. Half stay to protect the lab, the other to venture into the temple. Kevin leads the journey with two friends, equipped with weapons and provisions. They follow the path, facing the relentless nightmares and treacherous conditions. Reaching a cave entrance adorned with ancient symbols, warning of the guardian spirit. They enter the temple, finding walls lined with relics of the one's victims. It is a chilling reminder of what lies within. Countless souls consumed by this beast. Kevin musters his fear, pressing onward to find the crown. In a chamber, they discover a sarcophagus, the resting place of the One. A guardian spirit stands watch over it with a sword in hand. The guardian speaks of only those who purify themselves may enter, and with a ritual, they may prove their worth. They must drink from the sacred water to free their hearts of all fear and anger, or be denied entry. Kevin drinks, feeling a strange emptiness as their fears dissipate, while friends struggle with the test. The guardian passes them through, leading to a throne room. On it lies the Crown of Souls. They retrieve it and return, exhausted but victorious. With newfound knowledge, they can close the portals. The group reunites, ready to face the endgame. Back at the lab, they use the artifact on the scientist's tech. The portal closes as fear drains from it. The nightmares dissolve, and he shrinks in terror, realizing his mistake. Kevin demands answers to what this creature is. He admits creating it was a mistake. It should be sealed away again. They agree, but first he must help close the others. He reveals a plan. Reverse engineer his tech to open portals and return the One. As they work on it, they hear distant screams of the town being consumed by nightmares. Time is short, the One approaches. With haste, they follow him, hoping for humanity's sake. They close a portal in an abandoned house. There, they face the One. It rises from the earth, a grotesque form of bone and decay, absorbing their fear as it nears. The scientist tries his device. Nothing happens. Kevin speaks to it. You have your nightmares. Leave us our world. It listens and pauses. Then, it turns away. With heavy steps, it retreats into the forest, leaving them in relief but dread of its departure. As they return home, the scientist ponders, what if this doesn't end well? He remembers the legends. The One returns when its nightmares multiply. The group rejoins the town with news they survived the nightmares and closed the portals. It's a victory, but uneasy. They have stopped its hunger temporarily, but know it will return one day. In the aftermath of sealing the One's portals and the nightmares, Kevin and his friends share their victory with the townsfolk. However, the scientist remains uneasy. He believes his tech might only be a short-term solution. Legends speak of a bargain that sealed it away, and fear that this will return the One someday. Days pass, and life seems normal but tense. A local whispers about the One's nightmares vanishing a good sign, or a sign something worse. In the forest, the One stirs, its hunger sated for now, but aware of their knowledge. It knows they have the crown of souls to close portals, but it also knows humanity's weakness, fear. It decides to test them, biding time until its return. Kevin and friends discuss their actions. Should they warn others or leave them to ignorance? They decide to share what happened, but not alarm the whole world. The scientist suggests a warning carvings on stones near portals. If nightmares come again, they'll know it's real. They travel to the lab, where he destroyed his tech and returned to normal life. But in their hearts, they fear for the future. They know they fought an ancient evil, but only delayed its wrath. The One is sleeping now. The scientist obsesses over his mistake, trying to reverse engineer the crown to understand how it works. He finds a way to make a replica and test it on small portals. Success, but in doing so, he weakens the original. A portal opens at night. Kevin feels their dread as they approach it. In the dark, the One's nightmares enter, but fewer than before, only one. It feeds and grows stronger, drawing nearer. They know the bargain has broken, fearing for humanity. As the night deepens, they hear a howling in the distance. The scientist is consumed by his fear as the nightmares multiply. He tries to run but cannot escape what he unleashed. Kevin watches from afar, knowing this may be their last day. As morning dawn comes, he's found drained of life and soul. Just bones like the others. The One is returning, but how? It only fed on nightmares before. Kevin goes to the cabin, finding it empty. They hear a voice, the scientist whispering about his fears. But he is there, holding the crown, undread but alive. He explains he made a deal with the One. The One has a new host for its nightmares. In exchange for his life and his work's continuation, he will feed its souls to keep the portals open. They'll remain sealed as long as he lives. If not, they're unsealed. He is now one with the One. A bargain made in desperation. Kevin shudders. They leave, knowing the scientist's fate, a puppet of an ancient creature that will consume him forever. They vow to warn others, but only fear remains for humanity. As the One's nightmares multiply again, Kevin and his friends struggle with the scientist's deal with the One, realizing it was a desperate gamble that bound him to eternal servitude. They decide to warn others of what lies ahead. But his work remains and nightmares grow stronger, unchecked. He'll become a meal for the One, sealing the portals until he dies. In town, they make stone tablets with warnings of his bargain and distribute them in hopes of preparing others. They travel to another city, spreading word, but fear follows. Nightmares grow more frequent, but not as strong. Kevin wonders if the scientist is right. Is this a test or trick? The group returns to the lab, where the nightmares have claimed the town. They find a note. It was a warning. The scientist's bargain ended when he died. His body lies near, empty, husk-like, but alive. He spoke to them, begging for their help. They left. Nightmares spread, feeding on fear and growing in number. In desperation, Kevin uses the replica crown on him. It works! Souls are sucked from his body, but he's not consumed. The nightmares multiply. They return to the cabin, realizing they must close the portals, for this is not a drill. They venture back into the forest, finding an active portal. As they approach, the one's presence looms a cold aura, and dread fill them. It will take their souls, but doesn't. They use the crown on themselves, becoming hosts to close portals. With fear in check, they open it wide, absorbing nightmares. The one's nightmares stop feeding on humanity, returning to its master. As they leave, they hear distant howling. The scientist's soul is gone, and so are his bargains. The one is unbound again. Kevin and his friends witness the nightmares dwindle, returning to the one. They know its hunger has been sated for now, but not ended. The bargain is broken. Humanity's fate uncertain. As they leave, they hear distant howling. They watch as portals close around them, sealing the one in darkness once more. But the nightmares remain. A new fear lingers. They may be needed again. The one will return when its hunger is unbound. The bargain is only a temporary solution, and it feeds on humanity's fear. The group must now find a way to truly end this threat, or face the beast's wrath forever. Return. The scientist warned of legends. A pact sealed it away. They need to decipher this deal, find those involved in its creation, but there is no record of such an event. Time runs out as nightmares grow again. The one will return with a vengeance and take their world. They search the forest for clues, finding nothing until they discover ancient symbols near portals, runes that may lead to sealed tombs or temples. With hope, they follow them to find a secret society involved in sealing the one. There, they learn of the deal and its guardians, a hidden covenant with knowledge and power. Kevin finds an old journal, revealing the one was sealed by sacrifice from each generation. Souls were given willingly to seal portals. They fear it may be their only way. The group discusses who would offer themselves. It's grim but necessary. The end is near. As night falls, they find a temple sealed by ritual marks and runes. A coven member appears, watching them warily. They plead for help against the one's return, revealing its bargain. The guardian says only the worthy can enter. Kevin steps forward, willing it to be them. They feel a call within. The guardian tests their courage and purity with ancient trials, a rune on their skin. A scream releases a power from it, binding them to its purpose. The guardian grants them an artifact, the sacrificial chalice. With it, they can face what's coming. Kevin feels a change in self, as if a new will now guides them. They know what must be done. They return to town with warning and hope. With the sacrificial chalice and knowledge of a pact to end the one's reign, Kevin and his group face an uncertain future. The coven revealed it requires a worthy sacrifice for each portal, sealing it with fearless souls. They prepare for what awaits, but wonder if humanity will heed their warning. The nightmares grow bolder as they return home. People are aware now of the one, though not all believe in its power. Fear is palpable. The one's return is coming soon. In the town square, a debate grows heated over what to do, flee or stay. A woman claims she'll help, willing herself for sacrifice. She recites the coven's words, "We offer ourselves freely that others may live." Many follow, volunteering their fear and strength. Kevin sees the tide turning as they leave. As they prepare, one man confronts the group, demanding a say in this fate. He is powerful. Others will listen to him. Kevin speaks, "Our world needs you. Seal the portals." He scoffs but relents, agreeing. They form teams, moving to face the one's return. They gather at sealed portals across the town. Each wielding a chalice, the nightmares converge as the one nears. People chant, praying for their sacrifice. As one by one, they step forward. The one arrives, its hunger palpable. It consumes their souls but allows them to stay alive long enough to close the portals. The people cheer, relieved, but Kevin feels unease. They fear this is temporary. The one will return. They see the scientist's replica. Its workings are unfinished. A deal was made, but what? The nightmares lessen as they seal each portal. The one is weakened by each sacrifice. Is it truly sealed, or merely sated for now? They fear another pact with humanity will be needed. As the portals close and nightmares weaken, Kevin and his group ponder if they've only one time. A pact was made long ago. Can it hold forever? They worry as the scientist's replica persists. People celebrate, but fear remains. Will the one return? The group must research further. They find ancient texts speaking of a guardian, the Coven. This society has knowledge and power to end the one. Yet, there is no sign of it or its members nowadays. They search for clues but find nothing. Only an old map with rooms leading deeper into the woods. Following it, they discover a hidden temple. Inside are carvings of rituals, and the Coven's mark a testament to their existence. But why hide? Kevin notices a hidden chamber and finds a journal. The one is bound by sacrifice. If sealed, it will return. A bargain was made. Is humanity free? But only for now. They speak of this in town, dividing the people as fear grows, some to stay, some to leave. Kevin decides to study further, returning to the forest with a friend. They find another temple, older and darker. An inscription warns, those who bind must be bound. Kevin feels an ancient dread here. It speaks of the one's power. A sacrifice was made long ago, but for what? They search deeper, finding a chamber with ancient portals. One is open, the bargain unfulfilled. They enter to find bones and symbols. The Coven's members were sealed here but not consumed by the one. They chose to bind it in this place, living as its guardians. But what of others? A dark deal was made. Kevin feels a warning from the past. This is a trap. The one could return if they anger it or disobey its bargain. If unsealed, humanity will pay again. They leave with fear and unease. In an old temple hidden deep in the woods, Kevin and his companion find a secret guardian society that bound the one. Their ritual kept the creature from the world, but only temporarily. With people sacrificing themselves to seal portals, they wonder if this was humanity's final defense. An unspoken threat lingers. The one could return if angered or betrayed. In town, the group discusses their findings with others who are divided on action. Stay or flee? They consider leaving but fear for those who can't. A plan arises. Find a new pact to replace sacrifices and make it public. If humanity unites, perhaps they'll face the one together. They prepare for the next nightmares. Kevin gathers locals near open portals, chanting to draw them in. As one person is consumed by fear, another steps forward. I give myself. They chant, and so on. Nightmares grow stronger until only one remains, Kevin. They use the sacrificial chalice and face it. The one's power weakens, but allows them to seal its portal. A choice is made, humanity or self. Kevin looks into the abyss, remembering the one's hunger. They speak, you took our kind before, you won't again. With that, they close it. The nightmares multiply and weaken as others follow. The one can't consume them all. But it watches. It knows their will. Kevin feels a bargain breaking. As the portals are sealed, the one speaks to them, your kind is weak. Willing itself away, it returns to the shadows. They feel its hunger and malice. If humanity betrays this pact, it will return with vengeance. Kevin sees a future of their town, but not forever. A bargain was made, but only for now. The one feeds on nightmares and leaves. As the one departs in fury, our Kevin knows a new deal was struck. Their souls sealed away, willing it to go. They close portals behind them. But the nightmares grow more powerful now, a sign of hunger. This bargain may be temporary, a warning from the past echoes. The one can return if angered or betrayed. They fear its return, but stand together in resolve. People celebrate their sacrifice as a new unity forms, but they know what lies ahead. Nightmares wane and multiply again. The cycle starts anew. Another bargain is needed. Kevin knows this. Humanity must learn to seal the one forever. They decide to replicate the chalice and make it public, teaching others its power. With time against them, they must unite before another threat. As portals open in town, they begin a new pact, one for each portal. The people stand together, facing the one's hunger. As nightmares grow, so does their courage. They seal with hope and faith that humanity may end this bargain forever. Well, this about does it for today's story. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe. Comments are always welcome too. Please stay tuned for many more stories. Until next time, it's been great.